Hey everyone, it's Shar from Shar's Fascination, and we are back here because my friend Christine and I are gluten-free gals. We have to be. I have hypoglycemia along with the Hashimoto's and the epilepsy and the chronic migraine. And my dear friend Christine is diabetic. She has hypothyroid, which is with hypothyroid, that actually means that your thyroid is low and it doesn't secrete the hormones. That's a hormonal thing because that goes between the thyroid and the pituitary gland. And like me with the Hashimoto's disease, that actually is my white blood cells are attacking my thyroid and my pancreas, my kidney, and almost everything. Except for I can see better. When your thyroid gets better, your eyes get better. But if your thyroid knew your eyes were there, you'd be blind. It can also make you diabetic or seem diabetic. So keep that in mind. So we are going to take the same bread recipe, because King Arthur Baking Company does actually have a bagel recipe, but to me, whoever wrote it, I don't know. So in a large bowl, we're going to do the same thing like I said. I don't know when we're going to upload this video yet, when Christine feels up to it, and we're allowed to switch things around a bit. So let's not forget our olive oil. Oh, that's my bowl I use for when I'm making eggs. I don't fry them in oil or anything. I steam my eggs. It's better for you. Anyway, we're not putting eggs in this. We are putting a garlic herb goat cheese, a little extra garlic. We're going to do the water part. What I'm going to do when I go to mix everything in, this will actually go in with the dry ingredient. So I honestly should have peeled this back before anything. So when we go to do the whole thing, is it going to be nice today? Oh, and I washed my surfaces. You should know that. That's the surface. It looks weird. Well, this kitchen's old anyway. Like a lot of shit in this house is old. I think this house was built in the 1950s, I think. Oh, I love goat cheese. I want to eat this. I do. I want to eat this. But I'm not going to, because it's going in the freaking bagels. And I think this will be good. Now, Christine, she's going to make a whole different kind of bagel. I have to rinse the glove. Right, because I got goat cheese on it. Does that even really matter? Probably not. And my towel is clean. I have a couple of clean towels. I still don't have tea towels, but let's make this work. So in a bowl. And also, because we need to heat some water. Last time, I believe, let's see, what was the water part of this? I got the yeast. Water. 1 1/4 cup. So, I use my time and table for this. I need to use up my flour anyway, just like everything has an expiration date. A lot of goat cheese on the side of that by accident. Oh well. Now we have a water purifier for the house, so that when I'm doing these things, I don't have to use bottled water. I can use the purified water in the house. So what I'm going to do next is turn on the stove because I need to heat that water, you know. And of course, keep your measuring spoon handy as well. So I'm glad I have the cheese open. Really, I'm glad I have the cheese open. So in this, I'll wipe my screen after a while. See, in a large bowl, combine the water, sugar, oil, vinegar, yeast, and salt. Add the gluten-free bread flour. Beat either using a spoon. We know that sound, don't we? We all know that sound. So, go back up here for the yeast is 2 teaspoons. Here's our teaspoon. Make sure that's, nope. Wait, teaspoons, yep. Sorry, I almost read the wrong thing here. Actually, I want to put that in after I put the sugar in. Because I'll tell you what, that sugar, like the vinegar is a raising agent because it actually substitutes the sugar. I need 2 tablespoons of the granulated sugar. Now this, when you warm it with the water, this will actually help you activate your yeast quicker. Now, tablespoon. That's a big ass tablespoon right there. See, the thing with Christine and I, we actually don't give a shit if either one of us cusses. I don't really care. We're people. That's how that is. We love life, and we try to live it the best we can. So, stir that a bit. Now we're going to go ahead and put in a teaspoon of yeast, which is 2 teaspoons. Okay, so now we need the flour. I still have the sugar over on the stove. I just have it turned off now. So we need 2.5 cups of flour. It should use up this bag, I'll tell you that. Should. Doesn't mean it will. Ooh, there goes some flour everywhere. Now, I've made something with the other kind of flour before. I just find this to be very interesting to use. Ooh. There we go. You always get your shirt dirty when you're making bread. Remember that. I gotta make myself an apron. Some more. Put that amount back in because that was a little more than a half. Oh yeah, that was a little more than a half. I'm fine with that. Check your flour. You know what? I have this old habit. I will check my flour even if it's not expired. It's a habit. So now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add in my vinegar and my Wait, you know what? No. I need to add this. Wait, no. I have to add this first. I'm sorry. We're kind of all over the place today, aren't we? So I'm going to add a little extra garlic to this. That's a little. So honestly, oh, that smells so good. Yes, that smells good. Now, I do have my big cook pot over here. Now, if you don't know how to make bagels, you honestly have to boil the dough after it raises. Now, what I like to do, sometimes it depends on what I'm making. I will triple rise my dough. With this, it'll do a double dry, follow along with that, a double dry, and then the triple rise will be after it's boiled. Does that make some sort of sense? To me, that makes some sort of sense. Let's go ahead and do this. Break that goat cheese down in there. You want to make sure you break that up really good into smaller pieces. And as you do this, because I just found the big chunky part here, I had to check my camera and make sure y'all can see what the hell I'm doing. Just break this down. You know what I want to do for this weekend? And it's another gluten-free recipe, and I have the measuring flour for it, is I want to make gluten-free carrot cake. But instead of frosting, I'll do a glaze. Now, a glaze literally has less sugar in it than a frosting. Or I could just put honey over it because, you know, even though sugar is natural and the body needs its natural insulins to break down sugars, sometimes it's hard for the body to do that. And I kind of figure, you know, maybe it's a lot of the shit we put in our bodies, right? So, it might be, you just never know. Now we need, we're going to go for this vegetable oil. And so that's tablespoon. So we need a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of oil. We're going to use extra virgin. And then, because you know we're going to roll this out with the oil, keep that handy. I know everything's kind of like dusty right now, musty and dusty, whatever. And then 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. So, yes. The vinegar from now on is just going to be my baking thing. I mean, quite honestly, if you don't need to have a few things, I got gloves on, y'all. It's not going to bother me. It smells a little more, well, maybe it's because I have the garlic and that goat cheese in there. Now, another one that I will be making for bagel, especially if this turns out, with goat cheese, is a honey goat cheese cinnamon bagel. Scoop you out a little spot there in the center with a little bit underneath it, but not too much. Put your sugar mixture in there, little by little. I have gloves on, it's not really going to bother me. If it did, I would let you know. A lot of people would just use their spoon for that. You know, before people had spoons to use as utensils in the kitchen, they used their hands, honestly. Asians use like their version of a spoon and chopsticks and whatever utensil, you know, like from their culture that they had. Pretty interesting stuff. Vikings had some interesting for their stuff. Oh yeah. Europeans, the Greeks, the Italians, you know, everybody had their own. The Egyptians even, and Native American. We all had our own very interesting. I know I should have put oil on my glove. I know I should have, but I didn't. Sorry, Jeffree Star, I'm not coming over to your live right now, honey. Sometimes I'll go over to his live streams where he always seems to have some magnificent freaking sell for something. Sometimes he'll even sell other people's products. You know, good for him. Okay, so this is funny. I'm going to take these ones off. I have some extras in the drawer. Take these ones off. Because there's just too much. That's just too much. Hold on. Okay. Just try not to get oil on my tablet. Just oil up your hands when you're doing this. Oh my God, this smells so freaking good. So while this is raising, I'm gonna actually make our dinner. I got to eat. I've been dizzy all like the last few days. Like my sugars have been going low. So yeah, oh my gosh. This dough, it's fabulous. Oh, I love that. Like I said, you can smell, quite literally smell the garlic in this. Now, I looked up, are people with Hashimoto's disease able to use goat cheese? And the answer on that was yes. It was actually recommended because it's not cow cheesy. Anyway, that is a beautiful dough ball right there. Now, I believe now we just need to cover this. My hands aren't that bad. And set it aside for 20 minutes. Dough will begin to firm. This is a little, even though it's firm, it's kind of, you know, a little squish. But when we come back, I will be doing this while I have my food on the back burner, cooking dinner. Who knows, maybe we'll have this with dinner. Okay, well, while I have dinner in the oven, now it's actually time to, I grease my surface. Okay. Ooh, that did rise. Let's just put that right there. That did rise. Gosh, that still smells so good. As you can see, I cleaned up my work area, of course. I don't think I'm going to bother with the gloves. I wash my hands. It's fine. Don't forget to also grease your surface. In which, you know, oil that surface down a bit. You don't need to do it a whole lot. Make sure you get it on your hand when you do that. Now it's time to be needy. Now be careful when you knead. Now here's the thing a lot of people don't understand, right? Is the crossbreed and chemicals that actually made everything gluten. But the other part of gluten is how you knead your dough. Okay? Pull this in a couple of times like that. Flip it, you know, switch it over. Like, I need to make sure you're in the camera. You are. You're viewing me. At least I hope you do. Like I was saying, my dear friend Christine and I, we are Gen X. we are Gen X, and we have tough skin. You know, I know they say, oh, don't knead it too much. But that's only because you need to be careful not to, or you actually create the stretch that creates that gluten. That's why you only do this for so long. And now what we're going to do, give it a good spank. Now the bowl will end up in the sink eventually. But what we need to do now is go ahead and let this rest again. Now, if you remember last time, I put it on a pan and put the bread pan over it. Now what I'm going to do is take out a pan, put this on it, and I'm going to put the bowl over it. And we're just going to let it sit right here, near this. We're basically right here. So we're picking up that heat from over here. Does that make sense? That way when it does that second rise, which it's already starting to do, I don't know if you can see that. It's already starting to do like a little bubbly rise. So when it comes to a certain point of the rise, because now this is going to take 60 minutes, let's reach down. Now, I know a lot of people think I have a lot of money. No, I don't actually. I do not. I scrape and save, and I've told you all this before. Don't forget my surface is clean. I honestly don't have a lot of money. What I do is I scrape and save, and when I have money for something that I would like to have, my bills come way before my wants. Let's get that straight. You know. And a lot of people think, oh, well, you're spending this amount of money on Kirst. You're spending this amount on Jeffrey and Gerard. And I recently got some Lancome product for reviewing. So I'm slowly building up to having some PR, but that's only because of influencer. So now we're going to let that rest, and I'm going to check on dinner. I know there's a little gap there, but that's okay. That there's a little gap on that, perfectly fine. Because what I want to do with this, because I'm going to boil them, and that will be the third rise, seriously will be, because there's not a lot of oil on the counter. That's easy to clean up. Barely anything. You don't need a lot of olive oil to do this. And when we come back, which will probably be after dinner, remember that's 60 minutes, a whole ass hour. I should be done eating before then. Then we'll finish it off with the boil and put it in the oven. Okay, now that we're back, I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven to 400. We're going to take this, pull it forward. I will pull the pan of water over in a few minutes. So now what we need to do, oh my gosh, look at that. That is nice. That is really nice. It's warm on the bottom because I had it on here, right? So now what we need to do is shape it. I'm going to clean this off. But we need to shape that and then start putting it in the water. And as we do that, like I said, I'm going to clean this. I'm going to put some parchment across this as soon as I clean up here and I clean this up. Okay, so I'm letting the water start to heat. So what I'm going to show you is your basic. Take a piece off. For this part, I know I probably should have oiled my hands up, but we are going to be touching water. Oil and water does not make a good pair for making your bagel. Okay? That's not a good way to make a bagel. But this is basically what you have to do. Shaped like a donut. That's what a bagel is. It's just shaped like a donut. Now, remember, this is going to rise. And you can most definitely just knead this in your hands, because sometimes you need to. That's a bad joke, but whatever. Half the time life is a bad joke. But we just laugh at it and keep on going. So like I was saying, shape it, that hole in the middle. Maybe at some point with gluten-free flour. Ooh, this would be a good idea. Kind of like a carrot cake donut. Okay, I'm waiting for the water to finish getting hot. Meanwhile, I'm just going to shape a bunch of these. And then when we come back, that's going to be showing you how to put some in to boil before you put them in the oven. And what I might do, instead of brushing it with olive oil, I might melt some butter and just brush that over top. Okay, now that I've shaped them, no, I'm not going to make them massive, but this gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I believe. Not bad. That's 4, 6. Oh, I'm sorry, that gives 8. I'm not mad at that. So now that the water has heated up over here, nice and hot, you don't actually want to boil these for too long. But you definitely want to make sure that when these are done boiling, they actually, rise to the top. So I'm only going to put a few in at a time and see what happens. So this here, hold on. Now that you can see that better in the water, as soon as these float to the top, right, I will put them over here on the sheet pan. And then I will melt some butter to cover that. Also, make sure that you flip these. See that one right there? That one's starting to rise. I had just flipped these. Yeah, that one didn't go all the way back down. Now, because I'm using a gluten-free flour, this might not react the same way as a regular flour. Now, I'm used to using measuring flour for this. Remember, these are an experiment. So if they come out right, I might just do these ones today and then do the other ones tomorrow and smash the video together for that. I think that would work. Basically following the same thing. And I'll show you the other parts of the other one that I will do. But yeah. Now let's talk about the ones, I don't know what happened with that 1 second and then it turned off. Let's talk about the ones I already have over here. Those, I mean, you can pat them dry if you want, but you have to put them over there. I have 4 in here because there's one like really small. And take your pastry brush. You could do this on both sides if you want, but we're not flipping them. One side is one side. The other side is what it is. The other side. So, yeah, pretty much. So, we'll be doing that. So as soon as the rest of these are boiled and put on here, what I will do is when we come back, I'll show them to you and then we do our taste testery. Okay, these now go in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes on 400. Okay, my timer said I had 9 minutes left. You know, I had to clean up this area. Okay, 5 minutes and 38 seconds left. So we're going to tap on that. We'll just stop the timer. There we go. It's actually done, so it took less than 30 minutes. They're already crispy on the top, which I'm excited for. Yes, excited. At least it sort of puff up. Wow. Wow. Oh, those are pretty. No, those are pretty. They really are. Let me bring you over here to get a better look. Those are pretty. For food. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't go by their bagel recipe because, like I said, their bagel recipe seemed a bit weird. But, yeah, give me a minute. Okay, and we are back. This is what it looks like on the bottom. Not burnt. On the top, it's nice. What do you think?
Good.
Not bad. Now, I ran out of the bread flour. Well, didn't really have enough to make the honey goat cheese bagel. But I do have measuring flour. So that means I can still make bagel. So, ooh, there's that little bite of goat cheese. Did you get a bite of goat cheese yet?
Not yet.
Oh, it's in there somewhere. But those turned out pretty good. I counted correctly the first time. There were actually 10.
That's good.
It is. I think this would also be good as a pizza dough. A nice ham pizza. Some really good toppings on that. Yep. That'd be really good. So, sorry, y'all. Like, this is that good. Oh, I just noticed this. Mine has a little heart. Check that out. That's kind of cool. That's like saying love yourself inside and out. And hope you go over and check out my friend Christine with Life with Christine. See how her bagels turn out. Oh my gosh, this is good. Want a couple of these with your lunch tomorrow for work?
Yeah.
Sometimes my son eats the leftovers, but take a little leftovers for you save money that way. I think this would go good with it. This would go good with pasta too. Garlic knots.
Yeah. That would be good.
Rob's always saying it, eating into profit. I think the only improvement I would do on this is just add, even though I added more garlic in the beginning, I would add a little more garlic at the end. Remember, if you have to live the gluten-free life and you want to know how to make the good gluten-free that loves you from the inside and out, then try some of the recipes from King Arthur. There are so many gluten-free out there with all sorts of brands, including Nabisco. I'm waiting to see if Pillsbury will ever have anything gluten-free. I wonder if the Pillsbury dough boy is so chunk. But yeah, I mean, I've started to feel better and lose weight since I've been living the gluten-free life. My son, Rob, and Rob's daughter, they don't mind gluten-free. Actually kind of like it. So anyway, stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, stay blessed. Sorry, I'm still eating this for you. And I still have the little heart. Anyway, with that said, I will see you in the next one. Remember, go check out Christine, my other gluten-free gal. Bye. You never said what you thought of it, Rob.
Yeah, you did.
Did he?
That's what I said,
Okay, I missed that because I was eating this. Bye.